Good day, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. So today what I'm going to be discussing with you is the new iteration of Guild versus Guild. I got to try the revised version and the Forerunner server, where they modified the deployment of the soldiers, and at the same time they added some tools that you're going to be able to take advantage of in terms of looking at particular heroes. Let me see if I can. So one of the things that they added is that they added now a card when you click on each hero, where you're going to be able to see what their skills are, how much, whether they AOE damage, etc. Just in case you need to refresh your mind as to what each one of these hero does. And they also laid out a card where it tells you what each awakening is, or the description of each awakening. However, you won't know what the awakening of the hero is, because you can see here all of that is blinded, and you're also not going to be able to see any indications of gear or whether they're fully skilled up. This is just information for you to kind of get you an idea of what each one of these hero does in case you need a refresher. So as I was trying this, I did record a couple of clips here that I can show you, just to give you an idea of how things are going to be laid out. So the first thing that you're going to do is, of course, you're going to go look at the garrisons, and you're going to go look to see what matchups you think you can take on based on your base power and your battle power, and which soldiers you have. So in my account, I only have one legendary soldier, but it's also one that has a relatively high cost, so I have to be very careful and manage how I'm going to use my soldiers here. So in this setup here, I'm looking at the fact that there's a tank here and there's a healer, and trying to assess whether I'm going to be able to take this on. So I think that what I decided to do, number one, was to make sure that I had my fighter, a very strong fighter, and the soldiers here, and then I also picked a wave. So let me see if I can speed this up a little bit. So in this version of Guild versus Guild, you're no longer you're not lining them up as you want them released, right? So in the previous version, we were we were actually setting it up. So if we wanted our fighter to go out first, then we would put the fighter on slot number 1, and then our healer or defender or whatever else you had set up. In this setup here, I actually now what I can do, so what you're gonna be seeing here in the global server is, let me see, a lot of thinking going on here. So let me start this, because I just want you to kind of see the setup as it's going to be in the next version of Guild versus Guild. So now what's going to go on is, so you see here, I'm building up energy. Oh, it's right. I'm right behind it. Okay, so let me take myself out. So you see here, now we're building up this cost here. So now right now I'm 7 out of 10. So I can wait if I want to reach 10 out of 10. But now you can see our soldiers have a deployment cost. So that energy is going to, once you decide to place a particular set, that energy is going to be subtracted from the 10, and it'll cap out at 10. So you can see my fighter here is cost 4, my healer is 3, this fighter is 3. Now I'm going to play it, so you can see. So the first wave that I decided to do is, I'm going to send me in my big fighter. So he cost me 4, so they take off 4 from the 10, or from the 9 that was built. So I'm kind of just trying to time things here. Now you have 2, you can bring in 2 of the soldiers. So I just kind of decided I'm going to release both of those big guys right away. So you, in the previous version, once you picked that particular unit, all the units that came with the group were going to be released. In this instant here, you are actually going to be telling how many of those units you want released at that time. So as you can see there, I just decided to go ahead and release all 6 of my units here. And as you can see, I was able to get at least 3 to go to the core in this particular fight, and I was able to manage to bring him down. So I knew that Rasak was probably going to be distracted by the fighters, so he was going to be targeting them, and then the flying units kind of got past him. Okay, so here's another example. And I am, this is a different type of, this is going to be a different type of battlefield. So each one of the garrisons had a different type of setup. So now you can see here we have a fighter, we have archers, and we have fighters down here. So what I'm going to try to do is that this time I did decide to bring in my legendary unit. And what we're going to try to do is that I'm just going to go and try to blast past it. That is my goal here. And so based on the BP, I thought maybe I can get through him and try to bring as many of the units down. And I'm also bringing in mages to try to tackle these archers or marksmen. So let's set up the battle here. So right now it's just waiting for cost to be built. So I'm releasing my defender. So you can kind of see based on the cost that is building as to when I'm releasing. So in this case, I decided I'm just going to be releasing as soon as the cost is built, because I want him to try to get through them as soon as I can. And so as you can see, once we got the units down, it was fairly easy to blow right through that and go through to the core. The other difference that you're going to see is that we had a preparation phase for the first season in the global server to last a week, and then we had the 3 different battles right over the 6 days, and then we're going to have a settling day coming up. Now how everything is going to be set up is all going to be weekly battles. So we're going to have 2 days to prepare our garrisons and prepare our defenses. So once this starts, our defenses lock. Now you can start changing things around however you need to with the units to do the other PvE stuff that you need to do during the week. And then based on what you're seeing from your garrison runs, and if your defense is holding up, then you can probably carry that to the next week. But if you start looking to see that people are taking you down too easily, then you can adjust your defense. It's just it won't be modified during the battle phase, but once you change it, it should carry over to the next one, and you're kind of jumping ahead in the preparation phase if that's what you need to do. So that's kind of the stuff that you can expect from the new or Guild War 2.0 as it's coming out in the global server. And now you'll have a choice as to when your units actually are released based on the energy that you build or the cost that you build during the battle, and you'll still have 3 minutes to take it down. All right, so I hope that those tips are kind of helpful as you prepare for the next Guild War, and I hope that in the first encounter that your guild did just as well as mine did, and that you can get some rewards out of it. We'd like to thank you all for tuning in and watching, and I will see you all next time on the next Watch Our Realms video.
Their souls are mine to take.